All right, so next up is at some point, whether you guys try keto or not, or you guys just skip directly down to this step, I would highly recommend that you look into or you try or you play with intermittent fasting. Okay, so years and years and years ago, I got introduced by a friend of mine to intermittent fasting. And the guy that I started following was Keto. And if you look him up on YouTube, he's like a YouTube celebrity, right? And so I started doing intermittent fasting, and it worked for me. I started with a 16-8 regimen, which simply means essentially at the end of the day, folks, you only eat for 8 hours, right? So for 16 hours, you don't eat. For most of us, that comes down to just skipping breakfast as a meal and eating lunch and dinner like normal and not eating at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? So if you go out to the bar, don't come back and, drink or eat a bunch of munchies, right? Don't come back and eat a bunch of food at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So again, tracking is key. I recommend using the app Zero, and that will help you track your intermittent fasting. So when I was cutting really, really hard, and frankly, when my mind was the absolute sharpest, I was past 16-8. I was even more aggressive. And again, guys, I didn't get there overnight, but I just kept playing with it and pushing the boundaries. And I was essentially more like 22 hours fasted, 2 hours to eat, and then I'd start all over again. So what that really meant was I'd have like a 2 hour eating window. And so I would basically get home at like, 4 or 4:30, and I would be able to eat, or I'd eat until 6 or 6:30. Okay, and I'd essentially eat dinner and lunch at the same time in one big meal. And guys, it would be like a feast, right? I would feel like I just went to a steakhouse, right, and had a big old steak, and I would feel freaking amazing, right? And this OMAD was very good for me. I liked it. I still do OMAD probably 3 or 4 times a week, where I have kind of one meal a day, or it's just in such a tight window. It's a 2 or 3, even maybe 4 hour window, kind of at max. Okay, and so this is one of the big ways to spike your testosterone, to spike your growth hormone as well. And so, and this was one of the reasons why, quite literally, at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would just feel like a freaking raging bull with so much energy that I'd have to go work out, right? So intermittent fasting is definitely a tool that I think everybody should try and to use. I don't think it's for everybody. I don't think that keto, frankly, is for everybody either. I love it. I can stick to it. For me, it's natural. And I think that's what's important. It's something that you can stick to. It's a lifestyle commitment for you guys. So the other thing I got to say about intermittent fasting is, for me, it worked for a long time, and then the benefits kind of started wearing off. And so even though I was doing 16-8 intermittent fasting like before, the benefits really started wearing off for me. And I never knew with intermittent fasting that you could do more than 16-8. I just thought it was 16-8 and that was it. I didn't know. Nobody back then was really talking about doing extended fast or longer fast, or one meal a day, for example. Okay, so know that if you start and you do 16-8 and you like it, know that you can play with it. There is no right or wrong answer, right? You can just fast for 16 and find it amazing all the time and never do more than that, and that's fine, right? You can push it to 17, you can push it to 18, you can push it to 22 like I did, okay? Just know that it's something for you to play with, okay? And use it to your advantage, right? Use it, play with it just like you guys would a marketing message or a marketing tactic, right? See how it works for you. See how your body responds to it, okay?